just hold. Let me be a man and take good. When my glory fades to make take me back to that snuffling cold, where the seas roll and thunder. There let me rest in the air's cool breath, where the stars shine out their wonder. The seas roll out their thunder.
Many of you have come out from various parts of the city today, but we have fishermen and plant workers who got up early this morning. We have them from Bonavista North. That's about a 7-hour bus ride. And we have them from there. We've just had a very good rally of several thousand, mostly from the outports, mostly fisher people. But I kind of thought that there'd be a whole lot of people here in St. John's. We haven't got a bad life. We know, you know, and I know that if this island of ours is going to grow and develop and it isn't going to shrivel up and blow away, that we've got to save our fishery.
So if ever there was a time for us to send a message that we have to get our fish stocks back, I think that this is the time, and FPI is proud to be part of this rally, and we support the protest at sea. And as I said earlier at the Radisson, earlier this week I met with a large crowd of people in Catalina, several hundred people out of work, and at that meeting one of the plant workers stood up, and I think he expressed the current situation very well. He said, "Mr. Young, the arse is out of her, and the arse won't get put back in her until we end foreign overfishing, and today is a big step towards doing that."
We have found as working people all across this country for many, many years. You can talk to the politicians, you can have dialogue, and you can have discussion, but sometimes you got to take action. That action's got to be taken by the people themselves, and today is a part of the process of taking that important action.
What we are fighting for is the battle for the minds and the hearts of, first of all, our Canadian colleagues, and that will be easy. But more difficult, we are fighting for the minds and the hearts of the people of the European community. Our political leaders have talked to them and they haven't listened. Our lawyers have talked to them and they haven't listened. Our scientists have talked to them and they haven't listened. So whatever it takes, it's going to be people action and people talking to people. And I think this is a very good initiative today.
You know, we Newfoundlanders, one thing I discovered many years ago when I got off the island was while we fight among ourselves on the island, when we have big battles, we come together as a people. I believe that Newfoundlanders and Labradorians of all walks of life recognize that the future of our society is very much wound up in what happens on the Grand Banks of Newfoundland. And the most important thing that we can do over the next few years to beef up this place is to get back our fish. We've lost 8,000 jobs. 8,000. That's a hell of a lot of jobs anywhere. And it just isn't, I can't resist this temptation with so many from around here to remind you that when we say we, there's different parts of we. And some of we do not fish cod, we fish redfish and flounder. And today, if our flounder stocks were not pillaged and ravaged, as no other stock has been by foreign overfishing, Trepassey would be employing 800 people down the road. I'd like to make a few acknowledgements on behalf of those of us who were involved in the organizing of this rally. I would like to thank the FPI for providing this trawler and its magnificent crew, which you see up there. This trawler, which should be fishing now. They normally would be fishing, but they're going to be part of this protest. And And behind here is the Kingfisher, which should be fishing now. That vessel fishes out of Harbour Grace. I want to thank the Harbour Grace Fishing Company for providing that vessel. Behind it is the Polar Storm, and that's owned by a whole bunch of what I, in other days, called small fish merchants. That's their vessel. I'm very glad it's taking part in the demonstration. They tell me it's the most comfortable. I'll tell you next week when I come back. Behind that, somewhere there, is the Cape Fox, which many of you have seen regularly. It's been fishing out of St. John's for 15 years. It should be fishing today. It's not fishing. The crew of that vessel is taking part. And then somewhere here is a vessel that those of you who walk sometimes on the waterfront see. It's not a trawler, it's a gill netter. It's one of the large gill netters, 100 feet, and it's owned by the Short family, or leased by the Short family, who are inshore fishermen and now fishing offshore with that gill netter. And their father, Walter Short, was the father of all those Shorts, and was a founding member of our union, is here to be with his son and grandson, who will be taking that vessel to the nose of the banks. The Cape Howe is a trawler from Canso, Nova Scotia, and there are a bunch of Nova Scotian fishermen, and as you know, half of the Nova Scotia fishermen are from Newfoundland. Indeed, the captain, Captain Lambert, is from Parsons Harbour. And last but not least are my friends from Burgeo in the Cape Nova. And that's from Burgeo, and then, as you know, we go back a long way. And so, also on these boats today are fishermen from the inshore sector. We've got trap fishermen, hook and line fishermen, gill net fishermen, fishermen representing the inshore sector and different geographic areas. Now, who do we do this for? Well, let me tell you, first of all, we do this for ourselves. If no one in the rest of the world ever listens or ever hears, each of us will know that all parts of our industry and all parts of our society came together to send a message. And the second thing we have to do, to say to all of those in the rest of Canada, and Canada's in a bit of trouble, as it has been for a while, the most important thing to us is not the things that theologians talk about, how many angels on the pin of an eagle, or abstract legalistic notions. The most important thing that Canada has to do, if we're going to be a prosperous part of Canada, is to do what it takes to manage the fishery right to the end of the continental shelf.